The US representative to the United Nations says America is committed to delivering on climate financing for the Pacific. Attending the Pacific Island Forum, she also spoke with Nauru's President David Ariang before he abandoned the forum and left Rarotonga on a private jet. Elisha Foon spoke with US Ambassador Linda Greenfield Thomas about climate funding promised by Biden and more.
Well, my first question is, how long will the Pacific have to wait for funding promised by Biden?
Look, the commitments that the president made during the meetings that we had in September are strong commitments. We're ready to deliver on those commitments. Part of those commitments is engagement. I'm the first cabinet person to come since we recognized the Cook Islands. I'm here to engage directly with leaders, to answer their questions, to address their concerns, and to ensure that we move forward on delivering the commitments that the president made.
When will you be ready to move forward?
I think we're ready now. Everything is not going to happen in a day. It's not going to happen in a week, but it is happening, and you will see the results of that on a regular basis.
Are there any updates on Congress and this funding?
Congress is still working on the budget, as you know. We have, over the course of the past couple of weeks, the House has been working to elect a speaker. The speaker has now been elected, and we expect and hope that they will move forward on the president's budget requests in the coming weeks.
Solomon Islands leader Manasseh Sogavare has criticised the US for paying lip service and not following through. What is your response to that?
I am a follow-through. My presence here, I am committed as a member of the president's cabinet to ensure that the commitments we made are delivered on. As you know, we've also appointed a special envoy, Ambassador Frankie Reed, who is here in the region with me and is regularly in the region. And part of her job is to ensure that we deliver on the commitments that the president made.
Can you promise a date? When will the funding be delivered?
I can't promise a date. I don't think anyone can promise a date. What we can promise is that we will very aggressively and continuously work on delivering on the commitments the president made.
What else is the US bringing to the Pacific table?
We are here to listen at the concerns that are being raised. For example, we know that climate change is at the top of the agenda. I'm traveling with someone from Special Envoy Kerry's office who will be engaging on climate deliverables that we hope to make to address many of the climate concerns. I'm also traveling with Vice Admiral from the Coast Guard, who is working directly with island countries on many of their security concerns, working on addressing some of the areas that they have expressed the desire for assistance with, such as fisheries. So we're here as a team to ensure that we address the concerns that countries have, and all of us will go back with a strong commitment to ensure that we bring back to these islands what they've asked for.
When will the US ratify the Rarotongan Treaty?
Look, you know that President Obama sent the treaty to Congress, and that is something that they are working on. But we are committed to what's in the treaty, and we are taking actions to support the commitments made in the treaty.
Vanuatu this year has been hit by 3 cyclones. The US has been arguing loss and damages. How do you think the Pacific feel?
I think we are here, and we've heard the concerns that they have raised about loss and damages. As you know, we supported the resolution in the Security Council that addressed these issues. But let me just say, it is the U.S. that is always standing first whenever there's any kind of natural disaster, and any of the people in this region know that it is our disaster assistance through USAID, through our Coast Guard, and through others who will always be here immediately to support populations who are affected by natural disasters.
Is the US only interested in the Pacific region because it fears Beijing's efforts to expand its footprint?
We're interested because we think we have something to offer. We think we can be a good partner. We're not telling countries they have to choose between us and China. What we're telling countries is that they have a choice. And we want to ensure that the partnership we provide gives them a good choice to make. We're not saying to them to stop trading with China. We trade with China. We're not saying to them that they need to end their relationships with China, but what we want to make sure is they see positive results from those relationships that benefit the people of this region.
Civil society in Vanuatu is calling for the US to commit to phasing out fossil fuels. When will this happen?
Look, we have been actively engaged with the through Secretary Kerry's office in addressing these issues, and while we are committed to supporting those goals, the U.S. is doing other things to ensure that there are alternatives, and we're working with countries to address that. But at this time, I think we're not in a position to say it will phase out immediately, but I think eventually we want to see that happen.
How will the US be advocating for the Pacific ahead of COP28 and at COP28?
We're going to be engaging with the Pacific leading to COP28 in December. We're going to be working closely with countries so that as we go into those meetings in Doha in December, we have a strong sense of what your priorities are. We have a sense of how we can support your priorities, and we will be working with all of the countries in the region to actually accomplish that.
I have to ask, there was a protest yesterday on the steps of the forum around pro-Palestine. I have to ask about the humanitarian crisis. When will there be a ceasefire? Innocent women and children being killed.
We are strongly supporting the provision of humanitarian assistance to the people of Gaza. We're working closely with the region, with Egypt, with Israel, as well as others to ensure that humanitarian assistance is delivered. You may have heard today an announcement in the U.S. of humanitarian pauses every day to get humanitarian assistance in, and we all want to see an end to this war. But we also want to see when people protest that they are condemning the horrific actions that were taken by Hamas on October 7th. They're calling for the return of hostages, and they're calling for respect for humanitarian law and for the laws of war. These are the actions that we're taking both at the United Nations as well as in Washington.